Hi friends, today we are back with more Firefly. It is season 1, episode 7 called Jaynestown. I'm very sad because episode 7 means we're halfway through not just the season, but because it's only a one season show, we're halfway through the show. And I'm upset because I feel like the more I watch of this show, the more I have been enjoying it. Like, honestly, the last episode was so freaking good. I laughed so hard. Like, honestly, every episode that passes, I feel like I'm getting more attached to these characters and to these stories, and just I'm so into the show that knowing that I'm already halfway done with it is honestly bumming me out so much. Also, over this past weekend, since I recorded the last episode, I have I was already like falling in love with Morena. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but Baccarin, something like that. Inara, And then over the weekend, I was like, you know what? Like after I had finished editing the last episode to post, I was like, I kind of want to research her because I really wanted to know if she spoke Portuguese, which is, I've imprinted on her. She's Brazilian, but her accent in English is so good that I was like, she definitely moved here when she was like really, really young. Um, and so I wanted to see if she spoke Portuguese or not. And I found an interview of her speaking Portuguese. Granted, I didn't really listen to all the interview because I just wanted to get a feel for the Portuguese. And so the moment where they mentioned something like, oh, you were in the show Firefly, I was like, okay, that's my clue to leave because I didn't want to get any spoilers. But the fact that she speaks Portuguese, I have like madly fallen in love with her right now. I just need that to be noted. So I'm honestly expecting slash hoping for a lot of Inara this episode just because, yeah, I'm in love with her, so that's happening. But anyways, though, yeah, halfway through the show, not happy, in love with Morena Baccarin, happy, and curious for what's to come next. I am not, well, I was just gonna say I'm not gonna manifest a Zoe and Wash centric episode this time because I feel like I've done that every single episode and it hasn't happened. And then I remembered this episode's called Jaynestown, so I'm going to go on like a wild, wild guess here and say that I think this episode is going to be focused on Jayne. I think it is going to be our Jayne centric episode, and so my biggest like takeaway of this, my biggest concern, so to say, is that I think this is going to be the episode that's going to prove to me if Jayne is like really, really a part of our squad or if he's ever going to betray us. Because I feel like I still haven't forgotten the Serenity pilot and the fact that I think they've really made it seem like for the right price, he is not as committed to the group as like the rest of them are. And so I think this episode is going to test those boundaries. I think it's going to test those waters. And my conclusion is I think he's going to turn out to be a good guy. I don't think he's going to like sell himself out or sell our crew out for the right price. I think this is going to be the episode where he's going to have like a big opportunity or something, or a way in which he can get ahead by leaving us behind. And I don't think he's going to take it. I think he's going to stick around with us. I think he's going to prove himself. So I hope he does not disappoint me in that. But yeah, I'm excited for us to focus on Jayne though, because I think that um, Serenity was like, I want to say like not a great episode for him. Like he was funny, yes, but he wasn't the most for lack of a better way to say this, like huggable character. He didn't seem like the nicest one or anything like that. He seemed like I was a little bit worried about his intentions and stuff like that. And I think he started to prove himself each time more throughout these next few episodes. And so I think this is going to be like our ultimate test of that. So, I think we should just head into the episode, head into Jaynestown, see what he has to show us or prove to us or something like that. So, thank you all so much for watching this with me. Thank you to all of my patron sponsors who helped make this video possible. And I think we should just head straight into it. So, let's do it.
True. No, I won't, because it's not.
No?
I use swear words like anybody else.
Oh.
See, I never heard you. So when is it that you do all this cussing after I go to bed, or?
I swear when it's appropriate.
Simon, the whole point of swearing is that it ain't appropriate. Hey there, Nara. Heading off for some glamorous romance?
Let's hope so. See you two tomorrow. Don't let Mal get you into too much trouble while I'm gone.
Have
He
good
definitely
sex.
will.
What?
I love their relationship. Oh.
Oh!
Now this would be a perfect time for a swear word.
What happened in here?
Need to find some tape.
So you had to tear my infirmary apart?
Apparently.
My God. You're like a trained ape without the training.
I told you we're setting down on the Canton factory settlement on Higgins Moon.
Yep, that you did.
Canton don't allow guns in their town.
Yes, sir. That's why I ain't strapping one to my hip.
No, that's why you ain't strapping one anywhere.
Oh, listen, Mel, I was in Canton a few years back. I might have made me a few enemies thereabouts. So.
Enemies? You? No, how can it be?
Why are you still arguing what's been decided?
Thought he was gonna start crying.
Okay, Nora, we're atmospheric. You are good to go.
Thanks, Wash. Disengaging.
It's so cool to see her like doing her own little ship thingy. I forget what they call it, like a pod or something. I don't know, she's just so cool. It doesn't look promising.
Canton really stinks.
That's what makes it such a great drop point. No one comes to that doesn't have to. We go in, make contact, easy peasy.
Except it goes wrong.
Don't I usually stay with the ship?
I outrank you. Have fun.
I love that.
Cam, don't you think Simon should come with us?
What?
Aw.
I don't know. River.
Go on. I'm a shepherd, after all. I should be able to keep
Yeah.
my eye on a flock of what?
And she's doing better.
Soft hands, definitely a moneyed individual. All rich and lily white, pasty all over.
All right. Fine. I'll go. Just stop describing me.
You're the boss.
He's the boss now? Day keeps getting better and better.
It's okay, Jane. It's still, you're gonna shine at the end of the day, I'm assuming, with this episode title.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm looking to buy some mud.
Well then, we pay them next to nothing. That way we can pass the savings directly onto you, the customer.
I've heard great.
What happened to Simon? Who is this diabolical master of disguise?
He's learning.
He's not learning very well.
Why don't we wander a bit, take a look at the operation, then you can figure on whether we get an account here.
Yes. 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 We'll wander a bit.
Great job.
You haven't been here in years, Jane. No one's gonna remember you.
I think it's possible they might.
No way. There's no way. What did he do?
Bitch.
He speaks. He says it. Oh, I wish I could have seen Kay's reaction though. Oh my gosh. What did he do? I feel like it's got to be something like so silly, right? Because I feel like it would make sense with the show. He did like the smallest little thing and they have held a grudge ever since. I don't know. But also interesting that we have Inora going down a separate route and that also we left Zoe in the ship. Like, I wonder how much they're going to be in this episode, I guess.
You want to tell me how come there's a statue of you here and looking at me like I owe something?
Wishing I could, Captain.
No, seriously. Jane, you want to tell
Look,
me?
Mel, I got no rotten idea. Pulled a second story, stole a lot of scratch from the magistrate up on the hill. But things went way south.
Simon's face.
I think they captured him, though. You know.
So it's Jaynestown, like, in a positive way. Like, they all love him.
Everywhere I go, his eyes keep following me.
Magistrate Higgins, I would
Okay,
presume.
we still get to see her.
I have a feeling it will take all your arts to deal with this particular problem.
Every problem, Mr. Higgins, is an opportunity in disguise.
Okay. Good thinking, good thinking.
What are we up to, sweetheart?
Fixing your Bible.
What?
Yeah, what did you mean?
Contradictions, false logistics. Doesn't make sense.
No, you can't.
Oh, I hope he has another one.
Give me that.
Doesn't make sense.
It's not about making sense. It's about believing in something. It's about faith. You don't fix faith, River. It fixes you. You hang on to those then.
Okay, that's interesting. I feel like they're gonna teach each other lessons, right? But also the Jane thing, I totally thought that there was a statue, as in like a warning sign. But maybe this is a good thing. I don't know.
What's a gussied up fellow like you doing in a place like this?
Don't look. Like, are they gonna love or hate Jane? I still can't, like...
I knew it, Keston. No?
Last week, the factory foreman and his Prague crew heard he was moving contraband through town. Gave him a peck of trouble for it.
What kind of peck was that?
The kind where they hacked off his hands and feet with a machete. Rolled him into the bog. Your man's merchandise is here, safe in Kessler's hiding place. Okay. We just got to figure out how to get it across town without being seen by the foreman and his prods. I advise we all just lay low for a moment.
Oh. Jane is still not gonna lay low.
Jane! The man they call Jane.
There's no way.
Robbed from the rich and he gave to the poor.
He's their Robin Hood. No, you're kidding.
The hero of Canton, the man they call Jane.
You're kidding. Their reactions are so good.
You got any light you'd like to shed on this development?
No, Mel.
This is amazing.
This must be what going mad feels like.
The hero of Canton, the man they call Jane.
They're all singing it. This is, oh my god, my cheeks hurt from smiling right now.
He turned around his plane and let that money hit the sky.
I got tagged by anti-aircraft, started losing altitude. Had to dump them strong boxes. Stay airborne.
So it wasn't even on purpose.
60,000. Entrees long.
Of course he's a hero.
But I want to put them back, so...
Sorry.
What's that?
Oh my god, River.
Preacher, what the hell did you sick it? Whoa.
Oh, the little kid, god damn it. Oh my god.
He's come back! It's Jane!
What the? Hero of Canton won't be drinking that shung man, yeah? He drinks the best whiskey in the house!
Oh my gosh. They're so not laying low.
Listen, friend, I came here to make sure a deal went down solid.
I understand your concerns, friend. This was all part of our new plan.
It's gotta be.
We're still working the details.
Wow.
Anara, allow me to introduce my son, Fess Higgins. My son is 26 years old, and he ain't yet a man. 26. And since he can't find a willing woman himself...
You're not allowed here.
What?
She said get the fuck out. Of course he was gonna get into it.
I reattached a girl's leg. Her whole leg. She named her hamster after me. I got a hamster. To Jane, the box-dropping, man-ape gone wrong thing.
You know, you are pretty funny.
And you're pretty...
Pretty.
Pretty.
Ah!
What did you just say?
It's time to get out of this nut house. We got some planning to work out.
Now, Captain. Things are going so well. I
No, really, we
said things are going well.
She said, "Get the fuck out."
Jayne is stuck here with his adoring masses. Why don't you and Simon hang around and keep an eye on him for me?
Aw, that's a nice captain. They're still gonna lose him though, because they're gonna get distracted.
River? Please, why don't you come on out?
No, can't. Too much hair.
What does she have against her hair?
River, honey, he's putting the hair away now.
Doesn't matter. It'll still be there.
It's just hair. Why are y'all afraid of hair?
We talked a few pillars of the Mutter community into having a little Jayne Day celebration in Town Square tomorrow.
Jayne Day.
It should buy us enough of a distraction to get the stolen goods out from under the foreman and his crew prod.
Jayne's a what?
Companions choose the people they're to be with very carefully. If your father had asked me to come here for him, I wouldn't have.
She's so nice.
If the Mutters are together on a thing, there's too many of us to be put down. So in the end, he just called it a bonus. And then, when we put that statue of you in Town Square, he rolled in, wanted to tear it down, but the whole town rioted.
You guys had a riot? On account of me? My very own riot?
This is crazy. They're treating him like Jesus.
There's a problem in Workertown, sir.
Oh boy.
Jayne Cobb's come back.
Oh. Oh boy.
Done your time, you paid your debt. It's time you were on your way.
Okay. Is that their, like, jail? Like, that's...
You keep me in that box 4 years. You give me a loaded gun.
I'm not the one who partnered up with you and then turned on you when his plan went south. How high up was that shuttle when he pushed you out? 30 feet?
Oh.
And here's the poetical portion. He's back in town.
Okay, I can see how that becomes a problem, yes. Oh!
Hey, Captain. Captain.
No, nothing happened. No, I would never. Not with Kaylee.
What do you mean not with me?
Ow.
Where's my hero?
Your love for me now.
Oh, he's there. I thought he'd be gone. Aw, Kaylee looks so pissed.
Where are you going?
Going with you.
I don't think so. No, maybe you ought to stay here. It's about the time for a civilized person to have his breakfast. That's the sort of thing would be appropriate, don't you think?
Oh. You tell him. I love it.
Excuse me, can I see a menu?
What? I just thought I'd feel different after. Aren't I supposed to be a man now?
A man is just a boy who's old enough to ask that question.
That's where the little Jayne celebration we got planned comes in. Should give us enough time to get the goods back in Serenity.
You think we should be using my fame to hoodwink folks?
You better laugh when you say that.
No, really, Mal, I mean.
Is that really him? Watch, pinch me. I must be dreaming.
Just get on over to Town Square, Jayne. Your friends are waiting.
Oh, he's gonna get himself into so much trouble and they're not even gonna be there to help him. That's not great.
Here we go. Let's get it dug up.
A criminal hearing?
See, there's this man. He stole a ton of money from my dad and gave it to the poor, to my father's workers. Well, he's back. Apparently, he landed here yesterday.
Yesterday?
Mm.
Oh, no. I know this man. He just has this idiotic sense of nobility, you know?
Oh, sweetie. You're thinking about the wrong person.
You mean you actually know Jayne?
Jayne?
The only person I ever saw who stood up to my father. I sort of hate the idea of his getting caught.
Yes, that would be bad.
Jayne, really?
Or tell you run with Jayne Cobb.
Oh. Oh! Oh, Simon. Based off Simon's track record, he should just never leave their ship.
That's gonna cost you an eye. Come on!
Okay. Saved by Jayne. One more victim.
They love their boy. Just drive by nice and slow.
Okay. Okay, they did it. The posture. Like with the hands.
You people have been given the shortest end of the stick ever been offered a human soul in this crap hill-verse. Well, you took it.
Uh-huh.
And that's...
We did.
Well, I guess that's something.
Oh my gosh. Beautiful speech. Oh.
Stitch-ition.
Honey.
Kaylee?
Did you honey him? Did you honey him?
I ain't a hero, Stitch.
Yep, he's right. Jayne is. Heck, we used to work together, he and I.
Oh.
Whole lot of money in a magistrate's safe, weren't there, Jayne? Got away clean, too. But then our plane took a hit and we're going down.
Don't tell them the truth.
We even dumped the seats. And there's Jayne, the money, and me. There was no way he was gonna drop that money.
He did. He dropped it on the mutters.
Accident, you inbred dunghead. He tossed me out first. 6 months we run together, he turned me out before I could scream.
You'd have done the same.
Never. You protect the man you're with.
You gonna talk me to death, buddy? Is that the plan?
This is the plan.
Damn. I don't know if that statue is gonna be up for much longer.
Get up, you stupid piece of... What'd you do that for? What's wrong with you? Did you hear a word he said? You think there's someone just gonna drop money on you?
Jayne, don't ruin your reputation. Oh, don't destroy it. Oh, damn. Interesting that he would want to like let go of that so much.
Hello, Wash.
There she is.
No,
Nice.
we're fine. I set an override to port control. Lifted the landlock on Serenity. You wanted to make a man out of me, Dad. I guess it worked.
Oh my god, the man's spreading. The legs. He's a man now.
Just keep walking, preacher man. You couldn't beat him back? Or would that not be appropriate? I mean, you like me well enough, and then you go all stiff.
That's true.
I didn't.
See, you're doing it right now. What's so damn important about being proper?
It's all I have. Well, it's the only way I have of showing you that I like you. Of showing respect.
So when we made love last night...
When we what?
That's such an easy mark.
That was good. It was so obviously a lie. I love that. They're teasing. It works.
Why the hell that mother have to go and do that for, Mel? Probably sticking that statue right back up.
Most likely. It's my estimation that every man ever got a statue made of him was one kind of sumbitch or another. Ain't about you, Jayne. It's about what they need.
That's true. It's about the symbol.
Don't make no sense.
Damn, so that's what they mean by Jaynestown. That's what they meant. That is not what I thought they would mean with it. That was crazy. This episode, again, they really go all out with the humor. This show is really, really good with humor because this whole idea of Jayne being, like, this town's, like, savior is hilarious and so good. And it's interesting because I saw the statue and then a part of me was like, that's interesting because the statues, it did give me an idea of, like, it looks like they sort of idolize him, but then at the same time I was like, no, I think this probably is just, because this is just like a sci-fi show, so they do things differently. So I was like, maybe they put statues up of, like, wanted people in this town, and that's that. And so the fact that they actually leaned into him being this town's hero is just insane because that was so funny, that was so good, and that was definitely not the Jayne type episode that I was expecting. Because what I think is interesting is that they're talking about how he betrayed, Stitch, I think was his name. Like, Stitch is very clear about how the one thing you should have going for you is to, like, not betray the people you're working with. And so I think it's interesting because that's always been my concern. Is he going to eventually betray Mal because something better came along? And so I think I was expecting this episode to show, like, for him to have an offer, right, that he wouldn't be able to refuse, so that he would have to actively make the choice and choose Mal, and so that we know that where his alliances lie. And I think this was a much more delicate way of doing that, because I think with this episode, we go through the exact same process of, like, it's not that we're doubting him, but we get this, like, this sense of safety that, like, actually he's not going to betray us. He does seem like he's going, like, in the right direction. It just doesn't feel like he's the same person. It feels like he's someone we can trust. I think that episode really did that for me. So it's interesting because we sort of got to the outcome that I was expecting, but 100% not the way I figured it was gonna happen. And I like the ways in which everybody helped this episode. Like, I'm thinking Simon, he really, like, took a beating for Jayne so that he wouldn't tell him, where he is. Like, he was ready to defend Jayne and, like, almost put his life on the line, I want to say. Like, Simon was really good this episode, and I like how Inara found her ways into helping them get out, get the ship out of the ground. That was really cool. Even though she felt very distant this episode, I figured that after the ending of the last one, which was a really big one for Mal, I figured maybe we would be exploring more of that relationship this episode, but she was definitely distant from all of them. But I think it makes sense, and I think it's necessary because we have established how she's, like, a part of this group, but she also isn't. Like, she has her own side quests, like side jobs, which aren't actually side jobs. Like, she has her job. So I think it makes sense for us to go distant from her, but it just makes me, like, more excited for her and Mal to, like, have more interactions together, because there was definitely some chemistry, definitely some romance, definitely something brewing in between them, and also definitely something in between my best friend Kay and Mr. Simon, because he really does screw up sometimes, and I understand why Kay gets so hurt, because he says some things that he really shouldn't be saying, but I also understand that he does that without meaning any harm. And I think their chemistry and their banter is really interesting, and I'm excited to also see them explore that. But I wonder how much of these relationships they're going to have a chance to explore, because I feel like usually with TV shows, I don't think you would explore two relationships simultaneously. Like, I think we would have to focus on one of them and then focus on the other one, because I think it just might get too much. So I wonder which one they would go for first. I'm thinking maybe Simon and Kaylee, because I think maybe Inara and Mal are, like, a little bit, like, a bigger will they, won't they, like a buildup of years, I don't know, something like that. But I'm curious to see where both of those are gonna go, because all of those scenes make me very intrigued. Like, they definitely hooked me. What else? Gosh, I can't believe that Jayne was the hero. Like, that is so funny. And Nara finding it out. It's like, this show is so well written. It's so creative. I love it. And they were able to get the job done. With all this chaos that was happening, they're amazing thieves who, like, did what they needed to do. So, like, honestly, props to them, because that's impressive. I also think it's interesting that by the end of it, he, you know, Jayne just wants to let go of it. I think that's interesting because so much of the episode you see him like enjoying this, because why would he not enjoy being the hero? And then not only is it interesting because you get to see the downside of it, and I would say a harsh loss, but also I think what Mal tells him is even more interesting, you know, about how it's really not about him, it's about what the people need. And I think the people really needed a hero. And so it's really interesting because I think it makes sense why they would start idolizing him so much. So I think this episode made sense, like through and through. I really liked it. I think it was a good episode for us to like really get to know more of Jayne in a much more subtle and delicate way than I would have imagined. I thought it was going to be much more like, is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? And I think this episode went so much deeper than that. So I really, really appreciate it. I felt like it was a very creative way to tell us more about this character and for us to get to know him and sort of know what to expect from him in the future, because I feel like this episode was a very big contrast in between his past and his like present self, I mean, not sense, but yeah, anyways. But yeah, I just think it was a really good episode. I was definitely entertained. So we should read the title of the next one to come up with predictions. So let me open it up. Oh, next one's called Out of Gas, which of course gives me a very specific prediction of like, you know, we're dealing with a ship, we're dealing with like limited oxygen or something, so I'm going to assume maybe it has something to do with like that and that, you know, getting maybe stuck somewhere. Or I see the vision in my head, and hopefully you guys see it too. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one whenever they get out of gas or something. So see you then. Bye.